For a few years, the route of Strade Bianche remained, like many corners of the old region Tuscany where it's raced, untouched. But this year a circuit was introduced, kilometres added, 215 k's in total, 15 gravel sectors or sterrato, making 71 in total. A revolution, a makeover, or a tiny bit of tinkering. Time for everybody to make their minds up as the 18th edition of Strade Bianche was underway with that final loop, but the traditional finish in Piazza del Campo in Siena. A mighty profile with 4,000 metres of climbing. The climbing of a Liège or Lombardy, but of course the off-road difficulties of a Flanders or Roubaix. The ultimate one-day race, the modern classic in the making. It had been raining prior to the start and would rain at times during the race, but when the flag was waved, there'd be a very, very quick start among riders who were already, some of them at least, decked out in wet weather gear. Many would try to make an early breakaway, but it would take over 20 kilometres before any sort of move was beginning to form. 7 went away, but with Tom Screenge in the mix, that would be brought back. Then 5 riders rocked the road, already brought back with 100 k's to go, and UAE Emirates setting the pace on the front with 93 kilometres remaining. Tadej Pogacar racing for the first time this season, back at Strade Bianche 2 years after he won with a 50k solo attack, had promised interviewers at the start to attack with around 85 kilometres to go on Monte Santa Maria. And as the rain came down again, they'd have control at the front of the race, and Tadej Pogacar would come good on his promise. Riders already behind with 81 k's to go. Tim Wellens pulling things on the front, the rain lashing down, biblical conditions for a very special rider. Tadej Pogacar did make his move then and left spectators open-mouthed. Quickly putting out 30 seconds, nobody able to react behind, and having seen that the competition wasn't close to his wheel, soon, with 44 k's to go, had over 3 minutes of a gap, and barring incident or accident, the race very likely won. Evenepoel had already started with a win. Vingegaard had won several times. Now it was the turn of Pogacar. They couldn't agree on a chase behind. The competition had been decimated. Both Leonard van Eertveld and Maxime van Gils would try for Lotto Destiny, but in all reality, they knew that they were racing for the podium. Martinez was having a good debut for Groupama FDJ at this race, and Christophe Laporte was the best of those in Visma Lease bike colours at that point. Pogacar went on to the new circuit, able to enjoy the atmosphere. Not quite job done, he still had to get to the finish, but he was well ahead. 28 kilometres remain when, with Maxime van Gils up the road and having half a minute of a gap on the rest of the chasers, there was an opportunity for a rider who'd been so good at the opening weekend to get up the road. That, of course, was the man from Latvia, Tom Screenge. Tom Pidcock tried to follow, but already into the final 20 kilometres and with 2 sectors remaining, that was the shape of the race. Into the final 5 k's, the podium already set. Over a minute now of a gap by this point for Lidl Trek's Screenge and the man from Lotto Destiny, Gils. Pogacar was still well ahead, over 3 minutes ahead, and by this time was enjoying the ride. Yes, he'd have been hurting, but this was a performance so brutally good that it killed the competition and at times the spectacle. But nevertheless, it was something to remember. Pogacar with a performance for the history books. A chance to celebrate, realise what he'd done, and after he climbed Via Santa Caterina smiling, the place where normally it's a launch pad for those to really take their career to the stratosphere. He'd already done that previously. This was something extra special. 5 hours 19 minutes as he crossed the line. An opening race win for Tadej Pogacar, and one that he and we will always remember. A second win at Strade Bianche for the Slovenian star in 3 years. Tom Screenge pulled off Latvia's first ever podium at this event and his best one-day World Tour result. And the informed Maxime van Gils completed the podium. Screenge best of the rest, Tadej Pogacar on another level.